This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
You have 3 pit bulls on the loose, and you decide that you're going to help out, which is lovely. I have been in your shoes.
2 of them.
And I have lived to regret it just like you do.
This is the plaintiff, Marie Lavin. She says she was walking her dog when the defendant's pit bull got loose and mauled her dog. The defendant apologized profusely on the day of the incident, but now, 5 months later, she's having one heck of a time getting him to pay the vet bills. And that's why she's suing for $1,848. This is the defendant, Peter Martin Connolly. He says the plaintiff's dog was the aggressor, came over to his fence and started attacking his dog, which was on his property. And just for the record, his dog is not a pit bull, it's a bulldog. Bottom line, his dog was just defending himself in his own yard, so he owes nothing. He's accused of doing some doggy damage. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for vet bills and harassment.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Lavin, you are suing Mr. Connolly for $1,848 in vet bills and pain and suffering. You are counterclaiming against her $5,000 in harassment and medicine for your dog's injuries. Okay, Mr. Connolly. So let me hear first from Ms. Lavin. Tell me what happened.
Hi, I was walking my small Cairn Terrier in my neighborhood at the beach.
What kind of dog?
Cairn Terrier, like Toto.
Like Toto. Okay, I got it.
We usually do. We go for a walk around the neighborhood. It's about a 1.5 mile walk. I was passing the beach, and as I was passing the beach, the 2 girls who are working at the beach gate said to me, be careful, there are 3 pit bulls out. And I said, oh, okay. My witness is the mother of one of the girls. And I said, where are they? And they said, right up there. And I looked at them and I said, 2 of those are puppies. I said, they're out running around on the road. Did you know where they lived? And Lauren said to me, the girl working at the beach, said, yes, a house up, about 3 houses up. I said, well, we should get them back because they're going to get hit. So she was a little afraid.
So you called animal control, right?
Well, they were puppies. We didn't
so you called animal control, right?
Afterwards.
Yeah, right.
Afterwards.
You have 3 pit bulls on the loose, and you decide that you're going to help out, which is lovely. I have been in your shoes.
2 of them.
And I have lived to regret it just like you do. Do puppies have a mom? You were going to bring the puppies back to the mom. And the mom is probably a pit bull.
Well,
right?
wouldn't the mother be upset they were out running around?
Oh, yes, and she was going to be so relieved when you brought them back, because she would totally understand the setup and the situation. How did the pit bulls get out?
There were holes in the fence.
Exactly. So there's a way for animals to get out of the place where you're bringing these puppies back to.
Right.
Like you're connecting the dots now about how crazy that was. It's totally well-intentioned. Okay, but kind of crazy, right?
I guess.
Especially with a dog in your hands.
It never occurred to me till just now that it was crazy, but.
Really? Are you two her friend?
Oh, no. The attack was, that occurred to me.
Did anybody else tell you you're taking puppies to a mama? It's like when you, oh, look, there's a little bear.
Believe it or not.
Here, where's the mama bear? Let me find it and bring it to the mama bear. No one, I cannot be the first person in your life who told you that you were nuts.
Not even the policeman who made the report you said that. Honestly.
That's lovely. But I got to tell you, but anyway, so go ahead.
All right, well, 2 of them were puppies. One of them was an adult dog out on the road. We picked the 2 puppies up.
Who's we?
Lauren and I.
One of the girls?
Working at the beach.
Okay.
Lauren's mother's here. So you guessed what happened. We brought them back to this hole in the fence, and I thought I was doing a good thing by keeping the puppies safe and returning them back under the fence.
Where was the hole in the fence?
In the gate that opened up onto the driveway. It was a gate that covered the whole driveway.
For cars or for pedestrians?
Cars.
Okay.
And obviously it was not well maintained because there are holes in it. And as I was putting the puppy back into the hole, through the hole, which I assumed it escaped from, the dog inside the gate went berserk and easily broke out of the gate and attacked my dog. I tried to scoop up my dog, and in the process of trying to get him safe, I was bitten.
Do you know which dog bit you? Do you happen to know which dog bit you?
Well, the big dog.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It was a whitish kind of dog, pit bull. My dog managed to escape that and ran down the road, and then the dog that was actually out on the street, the adult pit bull, or the third one,
right,
who was out on the street, chased him down and pretty much finished the job. The only reason...
Did your dog die?
No, the only reason he didn't is because, thank goodness, a pickup truck, and I didn't get the man's name, saw what was happening, and he came right to where we were, and it distracted that pit bull just enough. I was able to scoop my dog up. He said, climb in. I did. He took us back to my house. I was so shaken up, I forgot to get his name. I put my dog inside, made him comfortable, jumped back in my car, and went back to the scene because I left the girl there.
Her daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
Lauren. The dog's obvious didn't seem to be after us.
Wait, you left. How old's your daughter? Stand on up.
17.
Come on up. And Lauren isn't here today.
Lauren is
No,
not
I have
here.
a statement from her.
Okay. So when you went in the truck, you left Lauren, a 15-year-old, in the mayhem with the pit bull frenzy?
Well, my dog was down the block. I chased him down.
No,
the
I know,
block.
I know. But if I'm Lauren's mom, I'm a little concerned that you're leaving Lauren to the pit bulls and taking care of your dog. It just gets worse.
One of them was definitely near us, and I definitely, after I jumped in the truck, realized I had done that.
If I'm Lauren and I see you driving away with the dog and leaving me with a mess of pit bull, I don't know what I would do.
Well, I would be honest. I had to run around, like a hairpin turn, around the hairpin turn to catch my dog. So I couldn't even honestly see around the hairpin turn.
You've forgotten about Lauren?
No, I didn't forget about her. I was just...
We need to get off this topic because you are just digging yourself deeper into the Lauren hole.
Another neighbor came out with their car.
Thank God.
Who my daughter didn't know. She's like, do I go to a strange car or do I get attacked? She went to the strange car.
Yeah, that's what I picked.
And jumped in his car, and he was able to get her to safety.
Okay. How long? So how did you find Lauren?
Well, I went back to the beach.
Okay.
And found that she was home. She left the scene, and I saw that the pickup truck was back, and behind him was another truck, and that's the defendant.
Right. Stopped?
Stopped. Both cars were stopped, and the pit bull, the third one, was still running around.
Okay.
That pit bull was somehow got into his car.
To his car. That's how you know he was the owner. Okay.
Yes, and he approached me. And I said, your dog's just attacked my dog. He's bleeding. I'm bleeding. Your gate is totally inadequate, and you have to fix it. And he says, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. In the meantime, when all this was happening, I didn't see him anywhere around until it was all over.
Did you take the dog to the vet?
Yes.
All right. Do you have the vet bills?
Yes.
Do you have pictures of the dog's injury?
Yes.
Hand them over, please. Sir, what's going on? How many dogs do you have?
I have 4.
4. 4 pit bulls?
First of all, Mama is not a pit bull. She's an American bulldog, and she has terrier in there. And Mama is a big...
Is Mama the name of your dog?
Yes.
I hope so.
I didn't see the fight. I was inside my house interviewing a possible roommate for 10 minutes. Usually when I come home, I close the driveway gates immediately, and the raccoons to the small hole.
Well, but if the hole was big enough for the adult dog to get out and 2 of the puppies to get out.
Well, my neighbor told me that her dog instigated the fight, and Mama was just trying to protect her puppies.
No, but my question is, how did 3 dogs get out? They told you 3 dogs got out, right? Is that through the raccoon holes you're telling me about?
Yes.
Can I see a picture of your dogs?
And Mama loves all other dogs, cats, birds, especially children. She's a big cream puff.
Cream puff?
She's not a pit bull. I know pit bulls
I don't care
get
if she's a
bad
pit bull
rap.
or a chihuahua or a poodle.
Okay, thank you.
That's Mama.
Thank you. You have holes in your fence that allowed 3 animals to get out, and why is that okay?
Well, usually when I come home, I close the driveway gates immediately due to harassment of another neighbor.
Do you have a picture of the fence with the holes in it?
Do we have the picture?
Yes. I took that photo.
I mean, the holes in the
Well, this
fence
is
are not
opened
something
end
you can
holes.
close. There's something you need to repair. How long had they been there? When did the raccoon make the hole?
About a year when they
Not
ate.
the dogs. The dogs didn't do it.
No,
the raccoon
no,
did.
no.
Okay. Okay, so I see what's going on. This is a chain link fence that goes only so far down. And then you have the plastic strips that go in and out.
The privacy slats.
And then some of the plastic strips are missing on the
Right.
bottom because something has bit them to try to get out or get in. Did you, when you talked to him and he was apologetic, did you submit the bills to him at some point?
When I talked to him, it was right after, and he said, well, I know about dogs. He said, let me look at the dogs. So I said, okay, and he followed me back to the house, myself in my car, he in his car, and he looked at the dog and said, oh, a little bacitracin should fix that. I'll pay for the bacitracin. And I said, I think it needs a little more than that. And we sort of left it at that. And
So you took the dog to the vet, and what did the vet do?
the vet had to anesthetize him, and he was stabled in 8 places.
What does stabled in 8 places mean?
It means his cuts were so deep that they had to be stapled back together.
Stapled?
Yes. So when I left him there, I went to the doctor.
Because you had been
This
bit.
was the next morning, and my arm was all swollen, and I
it's
had
infected,
been
right?
bitten. It was an infection.
You should have gone to the ER the day before so you could get some
Sunday
antibiotics.
night. I was bitten.
The ER's open on Sundays. They didn't tell you didn't get the memo. That's the
never-
concept behind an ER.
I was in shock, and I didn't have anyone to drive me.
You should have gotten that guy's number, that pickup truck.
I
So
should have.
why are
That
3
is my
dogs
biggest
getting
regret.
out of
I
your
thank
gate?
him.
Why don't you fix your gate so people don't have to be terrorized by 3 dogs that are loose?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So is the defendant responsible if the dogs get out through raccoon holes?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's his fault.
Why is it his fault?
It's his dogs.
His dogs, but what did he do wrong if they escape through raccoon holes?
He let his dogs outside.
Okay, but you're allowed to say you have a dog in a backyard. Why is he responsible?
Well, he should be making sure that his yard is safe for the dog to stay in and that he can't get out. That's part of a responsibility of having a dog.
Fair point.
I agree.
Okay, I agree. It was really quick. Going inside the courtroom.
Mama was just doing her motherly duties, trying to protect her puppy against her barking, annoying dog, which started the fight.
Your dog, Mama got out in order to attack that dog when she was trying to return the puppies who were roving the street who might get run over. It broke out of the gate to come and get the person who was putting the puppies back. Had you put both puppies inside already?
No.
You
we
put
never had
one
the
puppy
chance.
and then
I don't think I got either one in.
I'd like to ask you, what fault do you have in any of this by not repairing your gate and maintaining it in a way that your animals don't roam loose?
Because usually I block my driveway gates with other gates, my garbage cans.
Is this the first time your animals get out through those holes?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes,
No.
ma'am.
No, they've been out before, and we have proof right here from the Rocky Point Community newspaper that on September 1st, they were running loose.
Let's see it.
And
Somebody
Lar-
it was on Facebook. I downloaded all the pages with pictures of the dogs.
When did this event happen with you?
August 16th. So they were photographed also on August 30th,
What
I
say you
believe,
to all this?
and September 1st.
Maybe once or twice while I was opening the gate or closing the gate, but they always come right back in. Mama stays by my side all the time.
Are you getting it that it's not about you? That it's about whether or not your dogs get out and frighten and or bite and or harm other people? That the law is that you have to contain your animals. Mama got out. So what is it you're talking about? I have no issue with Mama. Mama's doing exactly what Mama's supposed to do.
Thank
The
you.
one who's not doing it is you. Do you understand? It is not about the animal's behavior. What I am talking about is you. Your behavior. You are a thinking person with connected brain cells who understands that you're supposed to keep humanity safe from your 4 animals, pit bulls or not. You're supposed to keep them contained. It means your animals can't get out. And they got out and they bit her and they attacked her animal. Where are you responsible for any of this? Anywhere in your head or nowhere?
No, I am 100% responsible.
Yes, you are. So explain to me how you have a counterclaim against her for $5,000.
Because when I went back to her house and checked on her dog, her arm was still blood, and she didn't even bother to treat her animal immediately. She didn't even bother to wash her hand. No, she had to come back to the scene and start this whole big commotion and ruckus.
I had to come back and...
Do you think you need to answer? Are you kidding me? Am I hearing what I'm hearing? I need you to join us on planet Earth. Honest to God. Honest to God. I am going to order you to pay the $628 in vet bills resulting from the injuries to that dog that ended up having to be stapled. Do you have a picture of your wound?
Yes, I just have
Oh,
a
I'm
picture.
sorry, Douglas. When you're done.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Ugh. Did that hurt?
Yeah, for quite a while. Yes,
Yeah, that had to hurt.
yeah.
That had to
Did
hurt.
you see my dog with the staples?
I saw your dog with the staples,
Yeah.
but I'm still looking at your wrist. Wow. And you're asking for $1,200 in pain and suffering. Describe the pain and suffering.
Well, one, my arm really did hurt.
Right.
And it really put me out of commission for about 10 days because I had to take 10 days worth of pills. And I do have the prescription
do you
to
work?
prove that. I don't, and it was the summer. No.
Okay.
I was just trying
kind
to
of-
think of what I would technically do. I mean,
yeah, stick to the pain and
my
suffering.
days
You
are
don't get
worth
lost
more.
wages when you're not working.
My days are worth more than what I put down, but
I agree with you. And I'm going to order him to pay you what you're asking for, which is $1,848. Verdict for the plaintiff. Pay the lady.
Well, we know you love Mama. Step in here. We know you rescued Mama from being euthanized and everything, but I think the judge wants to hear you say you understand that this was all your fault because you need to maintain that fence and make sure nothing like this ever happens again.
I do. When I come home, I have like fences behind the fence, in front of the fence, 20 garbage cans in front. Nothing can get out.
All right, we hope this doesn't happen again.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so you got every penny you sued for. What's going through your mind here now?
I think it was fair and honest, and I wasn't asking for anything more than what we felt was fair. Did I try to save 2 pit bulls and I shouldn't have? Maybe, but I'd probably do it again.
You made a few mistakes in the whole scenario, more than one.
I guess. I don't really think of them as mistakes, trying to do the right thing.
How's the dog?
He's getting better. He's still scarred, but he's getting better. And Lauren's okay too, I think.
Harvey?
This guy is in absolute ridiculous denial. Here's the thing. You have a duty to maintain your fence, and if you don't maintain your fence, I don't care if it's a raccoon or anything else, you are responsible, period. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Out here, there's no one way of doing things. No unwritten rules, and no shortage of adventure. Because out here, the only requirement is having fun. Bank of America invites kids 6 to 18 to golf with us. For a limited time, sign them up for a free 1-year membership, giving them access to discounted tee times at thousands of courses. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/golf with us. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Restrictions apply. See BofA.com/golf with us for complete details. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is the plaintiff, Vincent Ferrara. He says he sold a car to the defendant and his girlfriend, who he knew since they were kids, and they're trying to stiff him. He even offered to let them pay it off in weekly installments. They're refusing. That's why he's suing for the $1,210 he's owed. This is the defendant, William Miller. He says the plaintiff was going through a rough patch in his marriage and lived with him for a while. He made all the payments on the car while the plaintiff lived on his couch watching cartoons all day for 3 months. This lawsuit's nothing more than a desperate attempt by a desperate man in need of money. And the judge will definitely be ruling against him today. He's accused of copping out on a car.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff sold the car to the defendant and says the guy and his girlfriend are stiffing him, but the defendant says he made all the payments and the plaintiff was a freeloader at his home. It's the case of take a load off.
Okay, Vincent Ferrara, you are suing William Miller, your former good friend, for $1,210 that you say he still owes you on the balance of a car he bought plus a speeding ticket. What's going on?
Yes, back in September of last year, maybe the second week in September, I moved in with Will and his girlfriend. And
why?
Why? Because I was going through a separation with my wife, and I needed a place to live. And his girlfriend had said to me that I could stay with them. So I was like, okay, I'll stay. She charged me $50 a week, and I said, no problem, I'll pay, whatever.
And how did you know them?
I know his girlfriend, the defendant's girlfriend, all my life, about 25 years.
Okay.
And so what happened was I was living there, I was working, and I had a work vehicle, and Will was working in...
What do you mean by a work vehicle?
I was using the work van as my personal car as of work also.
Okay.
So, my car was just sitting there, and Will and his girlfriend only had one car. She would work or whatever, needed her Jeep. So I let him, kindness of my heart, I let him use my car for 3 weeks.
Kindness, okay. I assume gratitude, too, for the couch surfing, but go ahead.
Right, so I let him use my car for 3 weeks, and then the conversations picked up more about them buying my car. I said, all right, no problem. I said, listen, all right, I want $2,500 for my car. Will agreed to that, and he said, I'll pay you $200 a week. I said, $200 a week is a little too much. So I told him $150.
Okay, hold on one second. Do you have anything in writing or any texts or emails that would prove that it was $2,500 and not $2,000?
No, I don't. No,
okay, go on.
That I don't have. Like I said, he agreed to $2,500. He told me he'll pay me $200 a week. I said, no, let's do $150 because, that would be $800 a month, and he was paying all the bills in the house. So I was like, $150. He goes, no problem. So, weeks went by, he would pay me $150 while I was living there.
And then were you also paying back $50?
Yes, exactly.
And what do you say to that? He says you were giving him $150 and he was handing you back $50. Is that incorrect?
No, that's not how it went.
Did he hand you $50 a week?
But
do you have any receipts for all the 50s that you say you paid back that he says, no, he didn't?
No, I don't have receipts. No, I don't. No. But I do have a text message stating that it was $150, and then he says back to me in a text stating that, it went back to $200.
Who are you paying the $50 to, and why don't you have any evidence of paying the $50?
I was, like I said, it was the roommate.
Because one of you is a bull-faced liar. You either were paying $50 back, like he was handing you $150, and then you would count out 50 and hand it right back to him, like you're saying, or you didn't do that, and the $150 he was paying you should count for $200 because you owe $50 for rent. That's what I'm. So
right.
I'm kind of like lost why it is that there wouldn't be a better record keeping about this. Where's the girlfriend?
She's at work.
She didn't feel like coming?
She wasn't. This is between me and him, not her.
Not really. Because I would know, see, right now, if she was standing there, here's what I would ask her. Did he hand you $50? And then she would buttress your testimony, right? Or she would buttress his and say, yeah, he would actually pay back, and then I could learn something because you can't both be right. One of you is a liar.
So the defendant saying, I paid the money, but there's no proof he paid the money. Does he have to pay, even if he did, does he have to pay again now?
Yeah, because they can't prove it, especially in court.
Is somebody's word ever good enough without backup proof, receipts, and whatnot?
Not all the time.
Is it ever enough?
No.
So this guy's going to have to pay again, even though he may have paid once.
He may have paid, but there's no receipt to show that he did, so there's no proof, so.
There's a good lesson in this, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, going inside the courtroom.
So now, what is your position on this? You paid him everything you owe?
He already said I made 8 to 10 payments, so at 8 to 10 payments,
no, but what is your
$200
position?
is $2,000.
How much do you say you paid him?
Zero. I paid him $2,000. I don't owe him a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He just said it.
No, he didn't. He didn't say
far as
like
I'm
the way you're
concerned,
saying.
it's paid off.
But in any event, here's what I'm more interested in. Do you have your cell phone with all the texts?
Yes, I do.
May I see it?
Yes.
Do you have? Do you keep the text?
No, and the text that he has said that it went from 150 to 200, which is what I said.
What are you mad at?
I'm not mad.
You got kind of an edge.
Well, I'm a little upset I had to miss work today over this, but I don't know him a thing.
Okay, but were you friends with him?
Yes, at the time, until this happened.
The last payment you said was when? Third week in December?
I believe so, yes, either second or the third week.
Did you pay anything in January or February?
No.
Because according to you, you don't know anything. You've already paid it off.
Yeah.
So why are there 1,000 emails in January from you to him saying, yeah, cuz I'll hit you up as soon as I get out of work. I'll be by there. Then him saying, why didn't you come by? Did you forget me? Oh, man, I'm so sorry. My mom's in the hospital. I'm really stressed out. I'll pay you your payments. I just less. And then the next day, you also don't go. And then you say to him, oh, sorry, my boss isn't paying me. Again, bro, I'm sorry I didn't call you yesterday, but you know what was up. I got so much blank going on. I'm stressed out beyond belief. The blanking kids blanking a snapping out yesterday. I blanking locked them in the room. I ripped the TVs off the wall. I'm telling you, bro, it's been blanking psychotic for me lately. I got so much going on, I can't keep my blanking head straight. But I'll be over tomorrow regardless. But he didn't come over tomorrow. No. And then there's more and more. So if you paid it off, why do you spend months saying you will go by and pay it off? And then he texts you, do you know how much you owe me? Because I know, but I want to make sure you know. And then he says it's $1,350, but you helped me move, so I'm going to take $100 off of that, so it's $1,250. And your response isn't, what are you, out of your mind? I owe you $0. Your response is, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'll get paid next Monday, blah, 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 blah. Why would those be your responses if you don't owe him money?
At the time, I don't know what day that was, what time it was.
I'll tell you exactly what I do.
Okay,
it's
it doesn't matter because I have no record of the payments. I have nothing written down. He has nothing written down.
Whose fault is that?
It's both of our faults. He can't prove I owe him anything.
Well, I don't know. This is kind of really good proof.
Well, how do you know? I paid him after that then. After them dates, I paid him. Prove that I didn't.
I don't need to prove it.
You know?
No, you need to prove it.
Okay,
and if you don't want to prove it, or if you cannot prove it, my job becomes infinitely easier.
Say no more.
Infinitely easier.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't believe you if your tongue came notarized. You are standing here looking me right in the eye, telling me that never happened. I was paid off. He's got nothing in writing. I paid him off. And then I see months of text where you're excuse after excuse after excuse. You're suing for a traffic ticket. What traffic ticket?
The ticket, while I let him use my car for 3 weeks, he had gotten a traffic ticket, not a speeding ticket. I got the ticket with me here, and on it says a traffic device control or whatever.
Let me see it.
Well, if he got the ticket in the mail in his name, how can he prove I was driving the car at the time? Because he was still driving the car at the same time.
Let's see.
That's it right there. on a Saturday, 11/15/2014 at 7:35 in the morning.
Well, that's how he's going to prove that it was you, because you're the guy who's driving it then, right?
He was driving it also.
Your Honor, he worked in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's where it was.
That, and I can't believe anything he says, because he's like, all right, then I paid him after, you know?
Okay.
Pay the man. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,210.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, the defendant has lost his case to be paying for this thing. What's your reaction coming out?
At least it's over with. I'm just glad it's done and over with.
Yeah. What else?
That's about it.
Yeah, you reached out and did a nice thing for him when he was in need, right?
Yeah, he did a nice thing for me, too. I'm just sorry that it worked out this way.
All right. And so you two...
He's a good guy. There's no bad blood. I'm just happy it's over with.
So how come you didn't pay him?
Well, because we had a dispute, and I figured we were paid, and now this is where we're at, so...
All right, back to being best buddies again now?
Nah, definitely not.
No. Oh. Right down this way, yeah. All right, sir, so what's your feeling on your side of things here?
My feelings it went my way. I'm glad it did. You know, I'm sorry it had to come to this. And, you know, so I'm just glad it worked out in my favor.
Do you feel like you lost a good friend here?
I just met him. I met him last year. I just known him maybe 3 months before I even sold my car to him.
Right.
His girlfriend I knew for, 25 years.
And where's she? You two still friends?
No.
You and the girlfriend, 25-year friendship?
I'm sorry to say, it ended because, she got involved with the whole car issue, and she don't want to talk to me.
And she's on his side.
Obviously, yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, it seems so obvious. Never pay somebody without getting a receipt or something verifying like an email. You know, a lot of times people say, well, I don't really need it because everything's okay between us. Everybody always does transactions when things are okay. Things happen afterwards where it's not okay, and you have to protect yourself. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the plaintiff, Tony Robinson. She says she stored her washer and dryer at the defendant's house, who she knew through work, and now she wants them back and the defendant refuses. The washer and dryer are her property. She paid for them and is suing the thief here and now for the $1,212.60 she's owed. This is the defendant, Crystal Frazier. She says the plaintiff asked her to store her washer and dryer for a month, and she ended up storing it for almost 3 years. She had asked the plaintiff numerous times to pick them up. The woman never showed, so she got rid of them because she needed the room for her own washer and dryer. Owe the plaintiff all that money for something she clearly abandoned? No way. She's accused of playing dirty.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says she stored her washer dryer at the defendant's house, and the defendant won't return them. But the defendant says 1 month turns into 3 years, and it was abandoned. It's the case of washer. He hardly knew her.
Tony Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you are suing Crystal Frazier for $1,212.60. The amount owed, the amount you say she owes you for a washer and dryer of yours that she discarded without your authority. What happened?
September the 3rd of 2013, we had to move from where I was at, which we was moving into a senior citizen building, which the senior citizen building at that time already had their own washer and dryer, so we was unable to bring ours. And I had just got done paying for mine. So we was packing up and everything. Her husband was discussed it with my husband that we could bring it over there because she already had her own washer and dryer. So her husband, husband...
Then where's she going to put your washer and dryer if she has her own?
In the basement with hers.
Were they using it, or they were just going to store it?
They were just going to store it until we moved back into our a regular house.
Did you speak with her husband, or did he speak with her husband?
He spoke with her husband.
Okay. What was it you said to her husband?
Her husband, he mentioned it. When we was moving out, we told him we couldn't take our washer and dryer with him. He said, yo, man, I got enough room in my basement, so you can put it down in my basement until you find where to move it. So it's okay.
For how long?
After that year was up in the City Citizen building, we was gonna get us another apartment.
Okay.
Now, I see him all the time. He called me Pops, I call him my son. I mean, I don't want this house, he don't came to our house, ate and everything. I mean, so it wasn't like we just abandoned it. I mean, we seen him like on a regular basis. So we still was communicating.
And how long had passed? A year?
Yes. I have been talking
Because I'm looking at it and it looks like it's 2 years.
Okay, say 2 years.
18 months, yeah.
About 18 months.
Well, no. September of 2013 until September of 2015 is 2 years.
But you're right, and I understand you. And I had called her to let her know, and then I wind up doing 2 months in the hospital. See, I'm an asthmatic, and I had to get intubated. So I was unable, all my holidays and everything, I stayed in the hospital. So I was unable to contact her.
Okay,
but,
and in that meantime, were you all friends and talking to each other?
Yes, and I still don't have
Okay,
nothing
what
against
happened?
her.
What happened? You tell me your version. What happened?
Well, first of all, they're saying they stay in contact with my ex-husband. We're no longer together. So if they're in contact with him, that has nothing to do with me. I'm not really in contact with him, so...
He doesn't live in the place where the basement is? Okay.
No. Well, I actually moved, so we no longer even live in that address anymore.
When you moved, did you take those machines with you?
We did let, my ex-husband did let him know that we were moving. We moved in February of this year and let them know that we were moving and they needed to come get it. They didn't come.
How do you know your ex-husband let them?
I heard him on the phone with him and
he
told
said,
him that we were moving.
Who was he talking to?
He calls him Papa Huey, so he was talking to him.
Wait, what happened with your move?
We moved. We did move, and it did
come with him. You were still with him at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you
then
moved to the new place.
Right. We brought it with us, and come late May, I spoke with her again. She said she was going to come and get it the first weekend of June of this year. She never showed up. She did call me like 2 weeks later to let me know that she was in the hospital, but I haven't talked to you in 2-3 weeks.
You
so
had already
at that point you had already
gotten rid of it?
Yeah, because my new one came in, and when they came to bring it in, they took the other ones out.
So she didn't show up and she didn't call.
Right.
And you had them haul away the other ones by the time she called you.
Right. My understanding from whatever conversation they had, whether they told him it was going to be a year, my understanding it was only going to be a month. So I already had my own. So what I'm going to do with it? And it's small as it's an apartment size one. I can't use it. I got 5 kids at home. I can't use that.
Had you had a plan with her and then you got sick?
I told her that I was gonna come get it, but her telling me that she moved before, was on her way to move, I never heard that. I have her same phone number here.
She says that her ex contacted him and told him, we're moving. Well, I can't imagine that they're gonna move and they're not gonna tell you, come get your stuff, we're moving. What are they gonna do, put it on their heads? It's hard to move. It's not like it's a duffel bag, it's a washer and a dryer. Are you seriously telling me that the husband did not call you and say, we're moving, you need to?
No, ma'am.
Why would he want to add to the things he has to move without informing you?
I understand what you're saying, man, but they never let us know they was moving.
I got a feeling they let him know.
No, somebody on the street that I know, I lived in the apartment that we moved out of for about like 7 years. Everybody in the whole neighborhood know me, called me Pops and Papa Huey and whatnot. So like one of them came on my house one day. The guy came on my house. I said, do the people still live there that got my wash and dry? He said, no, man, they been moved.
He just said that you see him, like, he just said that they see him all the time. So
why
how
did
did
they
you
ask
not
him?
know? How did you not know?
If you see her ex all the time, why didn't something come up with, through the ex to talk to her?
We did talk to him.
We've been reaching her. She won't answer our calls.
We did talk to him, and every time we called him, we moved into our new building. He would always say, well, Mom or Pops, it's all right.
Come over this, come over that.
We got it. It's okay.
Except for that you've been separated from him for how long?
7 months. We've been separated 7 months. So for him to say we got it, that's...
When did you move to the new place?
In February. So we separated shortly after we moved, yes.
But she done moved
And when
twice.
was she supposed to meet you there and get it?
June. She said the weekend of June, because I actually spoke to her on the phone. So she knew I moved. Because when she called me in late May and said that she could come get it the first weekend of June, I told her I moved down the street. I don't live there anymore.
And was she surprised?
No. She didn't sound like she was surprised.
Well,
she said,
okay.
okay.
All right, so it's May when you talked to her?
Yes, late May.
And then she's supposed to pick it up when?
The first weekend of June.
Do you have any hospital records to show that you were hospitalized, by the way, in June?
No, I didn't. I wasn't even thinking to bring them, ma'am.
How do I know you weren't just ignoring your responsibility because you had free storage and you really didn't have a need for it?
No, I would never do that. Because
when did you move? What I meant was in May of 2015, where were you living?
In the senior citizen building.
No, we moved in April.
So if you moved there in April, did you tell him that you made a plan to pick it up?
That I finally talked to her and I told her.
And that I'm picking it up the first weekend in June.
I didn't say the first week in June. I told her that I'll be able to pick it up as soon as I can.
Oh, so they're just indefinite. You get to store it there and it's not considered abandoned at any point in time in the course of 2 years.
So 2 years pass, and the plaintiff never gets in touch. Are the washer dryer abandoned?
Yes, absolutely.
How much time before something gets abandoned if you just leave it at somebody's house and don't pick it up? What do you think is reasonable?
I think a reasonable amount of time would be 60 days.
60 days? Okay, is this abandoned for sure so the plaintiff can do whatever she wants with it?
Absolutely, after 2 years, yes.
What do you think? What's a reasonable time?
1 year.
1 year, okay, going inside the courtroom.
You can't just have other people store your stuff for free for year after year, and then when they finally have had it, they didn't hear from you, and nobody ever called her to say, listen, we can't pick it up, she's in the hospital, whatever. There's absolutely no contact. How can you complain that she did something wrong? I'm sorry, it's unfortunate. I feel bad that it happened. I'm sure you feel bad that it happened. I know you guys feel bad that it happened. But I just don't see how that means that she's got to pay you $1,212.60 for two things that you stored for free, well past the time that they were going to be her problem. Verdict for the defendant.
I couldn't find her, ma'am.
So the verdict's in. Let's see what the plaintiff has to say about this. Come on over here. Well, what happened in there? Yes,
Well, she said that I was kept in contact with her. I have a hard time trying to contact her. He contacted the husband, and this is the way it went. But as far as so much that I'm glad it's over, but I hated I lost.
Yeah, it hurts to lose. You fought your fight in court. But look, what else could they have done for you?
Let me pick the phone up and answer it so that I can come get my washer and dryer, and she never did.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so step on in here. You give us kind of a smile. What's you think?
It's just funny. They're just funny.
Yeah?
It's just ridiculous. Like, you bring me to court for something. I stored for you for 2 years, and it was supposed to be a month. So, I mean, it's whatever it is. I don't care.
Whatever. Harvey?
This is a very tricky area of the law court, and it really varies, not just from state to state, but sometimes from city to city, where it depends on the kind of property that's abandoned. There are certain things, for example, a dog is different than a piece of jewelry. So it's a very tricky thing. What I would suggest, if you ever end up with property where it's somebody else's and you don't know what to do, go online and type in your city and the word abandoned and see what you get. But you could also call your local police department and find out. Again, this is a tricky situation, and sometimes you pick something up and you assume it's yours and it's not yours, and then you end up on the receiving end of a lawsuit, and if you're not careful, you could lose.